Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's Podcast. This is episode 130. Me and Amy today on this lovely Wednesday, although it looks a bit gloomy and horrible outside. So
It is. It is a bit, isn't it?
yeah, it's a
Well,
drastic change from the sunny weather we've had recently, but it's fine. We're not gonna complain about it. It's all right. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. Doing okay. I can't believe it's the final weekend of the championship this weekend. Like, the season's absolutely flown by. Like, it boggles my mind. Like,
Yeah.
flown.
Yeah, that's the first topic that we want to discuss on today's agenda, and obviously, that final games this weekend. Like you said there, it's fun and you can't believe it. But then also there was moments in the season where you were kind of just like, oh, I don't want to go through this. I don't want this to happen.
Yeah. Oh God, you literally like. There was points that were really good. And I'm sure we'll do like a video on like the season as a whole, like more in depth, but like skimming over it now, like it's just been really odd. I think football in 2020 has been odd, yet alone like everything else that was on top of that, like losing a manager, not getting promoted, like there's just so many different things. And then you have like positive things, like Kerry Holland came into the side and absolutely smashed it. A couple of our players got players of the month, and the manager did as well. So it's just been crazy. Like so many things have happened. So it will be a welcomed break for a few months, but then like ready to go again next season for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like you feel like Liverpool have kind of turned a little bit of a corner, like recently in terms of like results and performances, and I think especially at the weekend, like that win was huge for us, just in terms of like confidence and just like sort of keeping the spirits high of the team. It's a shame that like a good run of performances have come at the end of the season. I feel like if you go back to like every season, I've said, our good performances have come at the wrong time, because they usually do for us, which is disappointing. It happened to us last year, just before like football was stopped, that we were getting into a good groove of playing, and we've found that now. But then it's just too little, too late for us, really. But it's kind of weird because like I kind of don't know how I feel about the season ending. On one hand I'm like, well, we're not getting promoted. Like I'm happy that we're just the season's going to finish and we can sort of forget about it and move on and focus on next year. But then also like it's going to be weird like not having to go to the games and be able to like watch them every week and whatnot, because like I feel like it takes a while for you to get into the groove of a season, and then when you finally do, it's like over.
Yeah, it's I know what you mean, like especially because the women's season is like shorter than the men's, and they play such a significant less amount of games. It does, like when you feel like you've gotten into the groove of okay, yeah, I go, we do all that stuff after the game, and then we do like things throughout the week. It's like a process, but then by the time you sort of got into it, you stopped again and you're like, oh my God. But I'll miss it. I mean, admittedly, I haven't been to many games this season. Not really in my control.
I think yeah.
Yeah. But it's been really tough. Like sometimes the best part of my week would be going to the game at the end of the week. Like it wasn't just to go watch football, but obviously like we'd go together, we'd see people that we'd usually go with, like talk to other people and things like that. So it was more of like just the day. So like going out of that routine again is really strange. But I mean that it's strange that each time that I've been into the media this season, I've almost felt like there's been more media there than like other seasons. So hopefully if this season's anything to go by, when it comes again next season, there's going to be even more. So I guess that's the aim. And then to get fans back, I mean, you'll know more than me how weird it's been. I know the women's game doesn't get thousands and thousands of fans in, but it still makes that little bit of difference, which I think what everyone's missed this year, especially.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you've kind of gotten used to it with
Mhm.
new fans of that. Like, I feel not like weird saying that, but you kind of got used to like being able to hear all the players on the pitch and the bench and like all the goings on. So it'd be weird that like when all fans, because like when they came back, was it just before Christmas? When did fans get to go back? What game was it? Was it
I
Chelsea?
think it was the Palace. Was it not Palace in December? That's what I
Yeah, it
thought
was
it was.
it was one of the games in December, wasn't it? And like although there was only like a handful there, like that was still, it was like really nice, but that was still weird as well because you were kind of like, oh my god, there's a bit of an atmosphere, like there's more for the like there's I don't know, it was kind of strange, but then you kind of got used
All
to it.
going on.
But like yeah, it will be nice to sort of get things back to normal, I suppose, and just see how it goes. But you know, obviously we'll have like the Olympics and stuff like that in the summer that we can focus on, like football wise, and it's not too long. But yeah,
The channel will not be silent.
we will not be silenced. No, we will continue. But yeah, it would be nice just to sort of focus on something different, I think, and just
Yeah, I mean, we've still got one more to go,
yeah,
which will be nice that I can actually go to.
yeah.
That would be really nice.
We'll both be
Um,
attending on Sunday. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, like, one more time out this season. I don't know why. I'm really not an emotional person, but I feel quite sentimental when it comes to towards the end of the season because it's like something that's been going on like the whole time, and then when it
yeah,
stops, it's really strange.
yeah,
So I always feel like a little bit odd. We always get a photo, like at the start of the
yeah,
season. We didn't manage to do this year, but we'll
yeah.
have to get one at the end. So
Yeah,
then
but
we
that would
always like
be
to see how much we've like changed,
changed in that like
like
nine
the
months.
start. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll have to get
I
something.
know because we were trying to plan like in the group chat a few days ago, weren't we? Like people coming up to
Yeah.
and stuff like that and being able to see a couple of friends again and that. And I was like, oh yeah, like we'll have Sundays free now, so it'll be nice. And I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with my Sundays? Because like it just takes,
Literally.
even though it's like only like 90 minutes of football, it takes
Yeah.
up like a good portion of the day, like of the time, like obviously doing pre-match and post-match stuff. So it's kind of like it'll be kind of weird not to have to go anywhere. So
It'll be okay. I feel like the thing is though, whenever a season finishes, it always feels like it comes around really quickly.
yeah,
Because like you then, especially with the Olympics this year, I feel like we're still going to be busy. The same year that it was in the World Cup year.
World Cup, yeah,
So like we were just like absolutely chocker for like every single month up until the league started again. It actually felt
yeah,
like we didn't have a break.
yeah,
But that was equally, it was quite nice. But um, you know what I always look forward to? I look forward to like the preseason media day that we get to go to and like ask things like that. So I mean, there's definitely things to look forward to. I just want the next season to start. You know, like I'm ready.
oh yeah,
Carry on, yeah, because I feel like I've not really
no
had
break.
a whole season. You know what I
That's
mean?
true, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, I don't think I could go straight into another season. I do need a small, just a small break, just a little one, I'll do. But obviously Leicester have been promoted this season, they're champions, and it was exciting because they announced that they'll be playing their final game of the season at the King Power Stadium, which is obviously the home of Leicester men. So that's like exciting for them. I think this will be the first time that they've played there, I want to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the start of like last season we had like, you know, a couple of matches in men's stadiums and whatnot, and I think it would have been a more regular thing had COVID not happened. Obviously we would have played at Goodison last season, and I think
God, yeah.
we would have had that opportunity again this season. I think obviously to maybe play a game at Anfield and whatnot, but it wasn't meant to be this year for obvious reasons. But fingers crossed that like next year it can start to be a regular thing again for women's teams to be playing at the stadiums. Obviously Reading were playing, were sharing the stadium and whatnot, so that was really good. But yeah, just like I think that's like one thing I'm like excited for next season, sort of things to get back to normal, and you can start experiencing those moments again and do all those little things.
Yeah, and obviously you're gonna have the media coverage on Sky and BBC as well, so that's going to be huge. I think we'll definitely see a massive difference next season for sure. Probably more so, obviously, in the WSL. I
Yeah.
think the Championship reaches some of them benefits as well. But it's going to be, I think next season is definitely one to look out for. And I think you will see more fans, more people talking about the sport, which can only really be a good thing. Hopefully people still tune in and listen to us speak as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll still be going, so don't palm us off for Sky and BT and all them, do you know what I mean? BBC, like, we'll still be here. We'll focus back on Liverpool for a little minute, and obviously Rachel Fairness hasn't been involved for a couple of matches now, for both us and Northern Ireland as well. But she did put an Instagram post up the other day just explaining why, and she's broken a fibula, and she's broken it in the most bizarre way as well. Like, it wasn't a tackle, it wasn't a player, it wasn't a training injury. Like, she blocked a shot and broke her fibula. Like,
you know what it must have been? Right, this is a bit of a weird analogy, but you know when you're playing table tennis on the Wii, and like you do your like normal shots, and then if you swing the remote a little bit harder, it's like a power shot. That's obviously what's happened. Someone on the other opposing team in Ukraine has done an absolute Wii table tennis power shot, and that's the only logical reason how it's made it break that badly.
Okay.
Science.
All right. Well, that's getting clipped up, and we're just tagging Rachel Fairness and that, and if she says yes, then sorted. But like, literally though, the power on that shot must have been something else to break a bone. Like,
or maybe like, I guess at like different angles and all that jazz, if you want to get technical. But it is a bit of a bizarre way. You would have thought that would come from like a tackle or something.
Yeah, I was assuming it was like studs up, like hard tackle, do you know what I mean? She's gone in 50-50 and she's just come out the other end injured. But no, it was a football, so I mean, that's a story to tell, isn't it? But she is sidelined for a couple of months, which is obviously disappointing that she couldn't finish the season off for Liverpool, and obviously for Northern Ireland as well, with what they've been doing recently. But fingers crossed that she's all good over the next couple of months, and we'll see her next season. But yeah,
hopefully she makes it back in full fitness to go to the Euros.
Yes, I'm sure she'll be sound for that. Yeah. Some more disappointing news in women's football. I was really sad when I saw this yesterday. Was that Fara Williams has announced her retirement from playing football. She said in a social media post yesterday, after much consideration and despite offers to remain within the game, I have made the difficult decision to retire from professional football at the end of the season. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to have had a career of more than 20 years within the women's game.
It is really sad, isn't it?
Yeah, when you think of women's football, Fara Williams is one of those names that immediately springs to mind. I think if you were asking most people about it, she's just been a legend. Been involved with the game since day one, since it's become what it is now, and has played a huge role in that. So she'll definitely be missed. Maybe be missed in the league, won't she?
She will. I mean, she's been such a front runner for everyone else, and such an inspiration for not just young girls trying to get into football, but for probably people that she's played with around her in the same teams and things like that. I know Amy Rogers put out a post on Instagram which was like, she looked up to her as like a role model and learned so much from her. So not just the next generation, but actually players that she was like playing in and around, which I think is probably the biggest boost you can get, knowing you've left like that much of a mark on someone who's on the same path as you.
Yeah.
It is really sad. It almost feels like the end of an era, because like it's getting more to the stage now where you might start losing your players like Fara Williams, your Steph Hortons, your Jill Scotts, and they're like the starters of this league and people that have been in and around this league for so long. Not saying that Steph Horton and Jill Scott are gonna hang up the boots anytime soon, but do you know what I mean? It's like getting more towards like that end.
Yeah.
So it is really sad. But I mean, all you can do is just thank them for what they've been able to do, and the path that they've sort of put down for everyone else to sort of tread along. So I think that illness she had back end of was it the back end of last season, or at some point during this year, I think might have been the final tip for her, because I mean, she's spoken about it and it sounded absolutely horrendous. So you'd hope that that wasn't the only reason, and maybe she just thought it was time, but that's probably definitely got something to play with it. But she's just an incredible footballer in every single sense, like literally in every way possible.
Yeah. Well, she's got a record of 172 caps for England. She's obviously represented the Team GB at the 2012 Olympics. She's played in 3 World Cups. She's been involved with some really good teams as well: Everton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Reading, and then obviously 2 WSL titles and 2 FA Cups during her career. So, she'll definitely look back with it with fond memories. It's weird then that when you were saying about like that generation of players, it's like Jill Scott, Steph Orton,
even like Alex Scott as well.
Yeah, like my head immediately thought that's the equivalent of like when Gerrard and Lampard and like those players retired in the men's game, like just the staple players that have been there for so long, like it coming to an end. Like you never thought you'd see the day, but then it's here now, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like they're not going to be here forever, and it's kind of hard to like sort of think about.
It is, and it'll be strange to not have those sort of eventually not have those players in and around. I mean, Fara Williams has been around for so long now; it's all we've ever really known in the women's game. So it's going to be super strange. But I hope that she stays in and around like football. I know in her statement she was like hoping to do like media commitments and coaching and things like that. So it's definitely not the end of Fara Williams in terms of a football sense. I'd love to see her on Sky doing bits, with this new deal, because I think she knows football inside and out, and it'd be nice to hear her insight. You never know, she might already have that in the bag.
Yeah,
you never know.
That's a good point.
But,
that'd be
that'd be good.
Yeah, there were loads of opportunities with recently. Never know. Next up, Pill Manager, couple of years, could happen. You never know.
Good time for that. You never know.
Good time for it. Yeah, but speaking of WSL, it's intense at the minute. I think this league, obviously, they've got 2 games left. They've got 2 weekends left of football, but obviously Chelsea played Man City at the weekend. Top of the table clash. The game finished 2-2. So that means Chelsea are only 2 points ahead at the minute of City. So City have Birmingham and West Ham left to play, and Chelsea have Tottenham and Reading left to play. So it's kind of some tasty fixtures there, some interesting games left to play for both them sides. So, I think especially the Man City, Birmingham and West Ham, both of them. West Ham are kind of safe now. I expect them to, well, there's only a few points between them, but I expect them to do well. But they're 2 tough games for City, with both Birmingham and West Ham being involved in like the bottom 4. Needing points to
it's crazy how like the top of the table is going to be the top and bottom of the table is going to be fighting each other and for whoever wins and whoever gets relegated.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be decided like on that final weekend, which is like,
I know,
so disappointing. I think to find out obviously on the last day. But yeah, how do you see it playing out for those 2 teams, City and Chelsea? Like what?
Oh God, I have no idea. Like either of them could win that. In all honesty, I think Chelsea probably want to win the Champions League more, and I mean they've got a big game against Bayern at home. I think it's this week or maybe next week. I'm not entirely sure. So I mean they've got to have both eyes on both the prize. I mean they've got the squad depth to be able to do that. But I mean City can be fully focused on the league. And don't have to worry about resting players, etc. They can put their strongest 11 out on both. Obviously, them all being fit on both occasions of the last 2 games. But I mean, you can never write Chelsea off, can you?
No.
But I mean, I think they want the Champions League more. Don't get me wrong, they want the league, but I think they don't have the Champions League yet. And it's been a long time since any of the English clubs have ever been in that position either. So that's huge. I actually think the relegation battle is just as interesting as well. I mean, I prefer it this year to last year because we were involved last year. That wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all picking up points here and again. I mean, absolute fight to the death. The Bristol game the other day, that was intense. It's like who bluffs first, like who falters first, I think is the case.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a great display the last few weeks of teams really like putting everything in, fighting to the last minute of the last kick of the game. I don't know. I can't call it. I really can't call it. I think it'd be a shame to see any of those teams go down, you know. I think Birmingham have obviously been involved with the WSL for a long, long time. So that would be horrible. I mean, Villa only just came up. Bristol City, West Ham as well, not been in the WSL for too long. Any of them to go would be really sad.
Yeah.
The one's got to go.
Unfortunately, I think Bristol's a bit of a mad one for me because I wasn't expecting them to be in this position this season.
No, they find some good players.
Yeah, they had a really good transfer window. You know, they brought in some really strong key players. They got to they obviously played in the final against Chelsea a few weeks ago, and then so it's kind of been a mad season because you'd never expect like a relegation team to be facing like champions of last year in a cup final. It's not the first time it's happened. It wouldn't be the last, but for them to be in a relegation battle as well, like I just wasn't expecting. And I think the same can be said for West Ham as well. Like I certainly wasn't expecting them to be involved in this. Obviously, with some of the players that they had involved in their team. I did think Villa would struggle. It's obviously like first season syndrome type thing of coming from the Championship. It's always difficult, and obviously with them being a new team, it's difficult for them to sort of get around it. Obviously Birmingham were involved with the relegation battle with us last season, and it just as easily could have been them last year. There was only a point difference, so yeah, it's kind of mad. Like it's very similar to Man City and Chelsea, is that you can't call who it's going to be.
It's going to be so tight.
Yeah.
For like the last game. Wow. Good display though.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be very interesting. I'm glad that our season will be finished, so we can we can pay attention to the game properly and see what's going on and who's going to win what or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you had to pick someone that you'd want to see Liverpool face in the Championship next season, which one of those teams would it be?
I don't know, any of them.
Yeah, I kind of want Birmingham.
Do you? Yeah.
I
want whoever is the easiest to beat so we can get promoted. How about that?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That'll do. But yeah, hopefully we haven't missed any news going on. There's always something that comes out once we've finished filming a podcast. Something always happens. But hopefully not. But yeah, that's everything on today's agenda. Anything else to add in the mix, Amy?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think that's it.
I think we'll have to do our end of season awards at some point.
Yes, we will. We might, yeah. Obviously, we'll have the usual post match for Sunday and whatnot, but then maybe we'll switch up a little bit next week. Maybe we'll do an end of season and review of Liverpool rather than a full podcast. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what.
Yeah, we feel.
Well, it's our oyster. We do what we want.
I agree.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see you on Sunday. That'll be a nice day.
I know. How long has it been now?
You only came the other week.
Was it the other week or was it a few weeks ago? 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Too long.
An hour's too long, girl.
Yeah.
Lol.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, it will be nice. Hashtag reunited.
Aye. We will be.
Aye.
Yeah. This was fun. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all on Sunday for some post-match reactions.
Bye.